Hi, it's Brenda. Some people have asked about how I'm coloring this quilt, so I decided to make a little video. The product I'm using is called Inktense. It comes in a block like this and in a pencil. It's sort of like watercolor, but it's ink instead of paint. So over here on my quilt, I just did this leaf. I looked around at what I've already done, and I thought maybe it was time for some green again and maybe some gold. And there was a splotch of orange from a drip or something. Like right here, there's some green. But maybe it was this one. And I just decided that I would just put some splotches on all the leaves and then it would look like it belonged there. On this one, I think whatever I'm going to do is going to cover up that green and we won't be able to see it. But onward. I use aloe vera gel for a paint medium. You could use fabric medium if you wanted to, but I like the aloe vera gel. You just squirt a little out. Let's see on this, what color am I going to do? I was thinking that maybe, based on the quilt, it was time for some red or orange or something like that. And then what does this look like to me? I don't know, maybe it's leaves, maybe it's red or orange or something would go here. Maybe it's like sumac leaves. It kind of looks like sumac leaves. I don't know. So I'll paint them kind of like sumac leaves. I have my aloe vera gel and I've got some pretty big leaves, so I'm going to get a little more aloe vera gel. Sorry, I'm going to have to do this one-handed because I don't have a phone holder. And maybe they're going to be, I did little swatches here, red, but maybe not quite. Well, let's line this up there. Not the yellow, maybe I'll go for the second red, which I think is this one. And I put it over here on my palette or lid to my blocks. This whole thing is done with just this small set of Inktense. I don't know why they're all broken up. I think they kind of came broken a little bit, but I don't know. They work anyway. All right, so I'm going to make some red paint for these. So those are kind of big areas, big leaves. So I'm going to choose a bigger brush to get it done fast. So I get my brush wet in the aloe vera, and then I paint some of this ink off. Again, I would normally hold the block and do this, but I'm one-handed with the phone. So I rub some off and rub it in here. If I want to have some light red, pinkish color, I could just put a little in. And if I want more red, I just put more red in. And that's how I get a lot of the shading. Like on this one, it's darker green here and lighter green here. I just used more pigment in the aloe vera there. Same on the flowers. This is like stronger version of the color, lighter version of the color. All right, so back to mixing this paint. Trying not to get it on my project. And I don't know, I've already got this brush kind of dripping in here, so I'll see how this looks. I can use a scrap, or I've got extra fabric on the side. Sometimes I just go over here and paint some on, and I think I want more in there. I left some of that pink over there so I can show you. All right, so let's start and see what happens. If I use the pink and I put it on here, you see it can be very light. I'm not really looking for light on this block, but on this leaf, but you can see how you could get pink from that. All right, I'm going to swirl it all together. Get some of it out of here, or could do it to the side. You have to be careful not to make a mess. And then I can paint it on. Try to use the tips of the bristles. Use a bigger brush for a larger space and a smaller brush for a smaller space. I don't know if you can see. And maybe I want this dark red. This isn't dark enough for me. So I can go to my block and I can get some more and put it on here. Or I can actually pick up the block and I can rub it on here and get some on there and then move it around. This is looking pretty red. Maybe the wrong kind of red for a sumac. So I might want to darken it up. So maybe I'll take a little bit of this. It's the one I've got, a little bit of this one. Try some of that on there. Takes a second for the medium, the aloe vera gel, to soak into the paint so it'll work. So you can see how it's darkening that up a little. I could use that for shading, or I could make the whole leaf that color. There's no right or wrong. It is what it is. I don't get too excited about it. I don't know what I'm going to do until I do it. I have no idea this was going to be red until I started it. And like this one is shells. I think I might make this one sort of like shell colors, some tans and browns. Don't know. I'll know when I get there. This one, well, it's holly leaves is the pattern, so I'll probably paint it like holly leaves. I don't know what color the background will be, but I'll paint the leaves green and the berries red. And then, I don't know. Sometimes I just, on this ugly block right here, I didn't like the design of the block. I didn't like the stitching. I'm like, what am I going to do with this one? What color am I going to make this? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't like it anyway, so I'll just mix up the colors that are on my palette already and see what happens. And I look around the quilt and I just like see, like, here's purple and here's purple. So I don't want to do another purple. There was yellow and yellow, So I put some yellow out here, but then I thought maybe I needed a little more, so I put these yellow swirls on here. I just like go through the rainbow and see what I want to make, see what I haven't used in a while. Sometimes I make things look like what they are, like the pebbles or the poinsettia. And sometimes they're just, I don't know, grass. I don't know what those were, but I think they look like mushrooms now. It's just, I don't know, whatever. This one, I was gonna, there's two colors of reds in the swirls, the lengthways of the leaf. And I wanted to make it look like plaid. So when I put the blue over it, you can't see really the difference between the red anymore, but I don't know, it is what it is. It's got some movement, it's all right. Sometimes I blend colors that aren't the same, like the green and the blue here. Sometimes I blend colors that are close to each other. Sometimes I have colors that don't really go any rhyme or reason. I don't know where that brown and tan one came, but when you look at the whole thing, it works. I wanted to do this black and white like a checkerboard. And that was not fun to paint really with the teeny tiny brush. I used a teeny tiny brush. I don't know if you can see the brush. I don't know. Just kind of happens. If you have any questions, let me know. Here are the leaves all painted. Now I have to decide what I'm going to do about these other little leafy, it could be flower buds, it could be leafy. There's nothing like that grows with a sumac leaf. So I don't know, what color do I want the background? Sometimes I decide about the background first and then the other thing happens. I don't know, I could make a sky, like a barely blue sky maybe. There's nothing, well, I got some barely blue over here. I could make some barely blue sky, and then I could make the stems kind of green and the buds kind of something. I don't know, the buds. Maybe multicolor. I don't know. Might kind of look like Christmas lights. I don't know. I think I'll go for the light blue sky and then I'll see what happens. Here's the blue I'm going to use. I got my aloe vera down there. So I got to trap this against the side for my one-handedness. Stir it in there. I mean, if you don't get it stirred in there perfectly, it can be swirly, but nothing in nature is like solid like a coloring book. All right, let's see how blue that is over here on the side. Maybe a little more blue. A little more. See how that's looking. We'll try it. See what happens. You can always add more in. It's hard to take it out, but you can add it in. Clean up my brush a little. And then we just paint it in here. See how this brush works. I might have to switch to a smaller one. See my red one out of the lines right there? It's okay. Not important. Life goes on. Don't sweat the small stuff. Nobody's going to look this close anyway. I'll move my palette over here. I'm thinking that I've tried to kind of shade, like this is the center, like it's a lower leaf, so this would be in the shaded area. So I'm going to add a little bit more blue to that. Give it a little bit of depth. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. You can decide to make this little slice part of the flower or part of the background. There's no police. No one's going to tell you you did it wrong. It's yours. You can do whatever you want. The block right here, it's dry. You have to put a little medium on there to get it to come off. When you pick them up dry, they don't really even get on your hands. And it washes right off with soap and water. But once the paint or the ink with the medium in it has dried, it's permanent. I'll iron it to kind of set it just in case. But it's magic. Okay, so you can see how I'm doing this. Just going around, making it a little darker on the edges, at least on the part that's underneath leaf. There you have it. Here it is with the light blue added on, darker for the shaded parts where the leaf is under. What to paint the white flowers / leaves? I don't know. I could look around and see what I haven't used in a while. What blooms when sumac blooms? Sumac blooms in the fall. Goldenrod. Doesn't look like goldenrod though. I don't know. What do you think? I won't paint it for a while and I'll see what people have to say. Let me know in the comments. Thanks. Bye.